In this video we're going to discuss VTP and how VTP works between switches in the Cisco world. So what VTP is designed for is so that you can have a central switch that you can use to manage multiple switches in a enterprise environment. So let's say in this case we have one switch here that's in one building, and this switch is in another building, and this is the central switch in a third building. So how this works is I have the ability to set it up to where VTP, I can set up VLANs and which ports have access to specific VLANs on this central switch, and then that switch will push those changes to these additional other switches in different buildings or locations without me actually having to go in and configure on each switch. So how that works is we're going to go to switch 1, and what you'll see here is you'll see if you do show VTP status, you can look at the status of VTP and how it's currently set up, and you can see we have no domain. You can see that this is currently operating in server mode. So there are 3 types of VTP modes, and if we go so you see there's client, server, and transparent. So client will only receive updates from a server. Server will you can update to it, and you cannot update a client and it will not push back to a server. A server you can update and it will then push to a client. And a transparent mode you can update, but it will not accept or receive VTP from any other switch. So on switch 1 we're going to leave it in VTP mode server, as it's going to be our centralized switch. But here's the beauty of VTP. So if we do VTP domain and then we just type in a word, so let's say we want our domain to be Microsoft. So as you can see, it says changing VTP domain name from null to Microsoft. So if we go over here and do a show VTP status, you can see that the domain name has now affected to switch 2, and if we pull switch 0 in here, you can see it's also pushed to that one as well. So Microsoft, and then you can also see the VTP configuration revision has stayed at 0. But if we go here, it has not ticked up. Normally how this will work, and there are a few bugs like this in Packet Tracer, how this will work is this configuration revision will go up to 1 now, and then these will have updated to 1, picking up this issue. So you can see we've done Microsoft here. So how this also is great is if we go, let's say we want to do VLAN 10, and we want to name VLAN 10 management, and we want to do VLAN 20, and we want to name it clients, and we do VLAN 30, and we want to name it front desk. Got ahead of myself. Name front desk. Oh, I forget you cannot have spaces. So if we do show VLAN, you can see we have VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30 front desk active, and you can see we haven't assigned any ports. But what this allows us to do is if we go to switch 2 and do so now you can see the configuration revisions have actually bumped up, and the reason for that is you can see it's pulled 10, 20, and 30 over, so clients, front desk, staff, and then if we had assigned ports to it, it would also pick up which ports we had assigned to that as well. So like I said, the advantage to this is it's a great thing in that, you know, if we were to bring a new switch into this environment, and let's say we wanted it to have the exact same configuration as this switch, a switch is configured to automatically negotiate a trunk and then pick up VTP. So how the beauty of that is I drop the switch in here and I set it up to trunk, and it will automatically pull the VLAN and configuration from this server to these 3 switches. The disadvantages is, as you can see on this, if I do a show VTP status, you can see configuration revision 6. Now if I pull this switch out of a lab, let's say I have a switch go down and I have a spare switch in my lab, and I yank this one in and I drop it in here and I throw it in, and it has a configuration revision of 20, and it's set as a server, this server will read that switch and say, oh, I have 6, this has 20, I need to go ahead and update myself to 20. It'll pull all the information down to this switch and then push to these 2 switches. The problem is if this switch is not configured the way you want it to be, like it doesn't have your VLANs and anything, it will completely crash your network. So it'll take all your VLANs down, anything that you have specific to a VLAN, all the computers will not be able to talk to each other. It will just wreak havoc on your network, and you will take you some time to look at it and figure out why did that happen. So that's just one caution about using VTP. There are people that love it, and there are people that don't use it specifically for that reason. I hope that you found this informative, and thank you for watching.